Thanks for staying with us. I'm Mark Hardy and you're watching Weather 21. And weather headlines today: a cooler change affecting the southeast of the country and showers clearing from New South Wales and southeast Queensland. Details and all that later. First of all, take a look at the latest satellite sequence. Over the past 24 hours we've seen this cloud and light rain through South Australia extend fairly steadily eastwards. Falls out of this have been very light. Queensland and most of New South Wales pretty clear of any cloud. We've got an upper level high right over this area, and that's keeping the whole northeast of the country fairly stable. And we've got a series of cold fronts coming up from the south, and they will give some fairly cool, showery days to the southeast of the country, most likely for the remainder of the week. We'll take a look at the synoptic weather map. A weak trough through eastern Victoria at the moment, and cooler southerly winds just starting to develop through Tasmania, but it's really this front way back here that will give the major change when it moves through into the southeast of the country later on tonight. This little cell of high pressure we've got in the bight is weakening quite quickly and will pretty much disappear over the next couple of hours. To the north, warm easterly winds moving through the southern part of the territory and most of southern Queensland, keeping temperatures up. The air, like I mentioned there, is very stable, and fairly warm weather also through the northern part of Western Australia. We'll take a look at the jet stream. A fairly complex pattern we have here. We've got a really tight little upper level trough. Further back we've got this southwesterly jet, and you may remember the jet stream is the kind of river of air in the upper atmosphere. Very strong winds, and they tend to steer the system. So this southerly leg of the jet here is steering these fronts up to the north, and they're tending to intensify as they move into this region. And we've got this upper level ridge and a strong upper level high essentially over the eastern part of Queensland at the moment, and this jet here consequently is becoming fairly strong and tending to generate all this cloud right through northern Victoria and the southern part of New South Wales. Now by tonight, expecting that front to be right through Victoria, so fairly rapid movement, and it will bring cold, gusty southwesterly winds after it goes through. But before it, these are fairly mild northerly winds and just patchy rain extending into the southern part of New South Wales. By Wednesday, that change will be moving up the New South Wales coast as a southerly. It'll bring showers, fairly gusty southerly winds, and maybe some thunderstorms across the ranges. Another front following up from the west will be approaching Victoria and Tasmania, and generally strong northwesterly winds ahead of that will bring some pretty cool windy weather to southern Victoria and Tasmania Wednesday and into Thursday, especially for Tasmania with these northwesterly winds persisting and giving showers to the west coast. We should see a pretty rapid clearance for southern Victoria, and onshore winds developing for Queensland will mean coastal showers, maybe a few showers about inland New South Wales associated with this trough, and things should clear pretty quickly through South Australia. Take a look at our national forecast now, and Brisbane expecting a few showers. Sydney, pretty much a sunny day and a pretty pleasant 26 degrees. A shower or two in Hobart, mostly dry in Melbourne, and Adelaide, just some patchy rain, and it should be sunny across in Perth, a top there of around 25. Okay, we'll take a look at Queensland in detail now. Over the past 24 hours, fairly dry weather. In fact, not much action on the cloud picture. You can see on this sequence here, just some patchy coastal cloud here. A tropical low out in the Coral Sea is weakening and just pushing a few showers onto the Queensland coast. And further to the west, you can see that skies are fairly clear. On the radars as well, not a whole lot of action taking place at the moment. Just some very isolated showers about the tropical coast up around Cairns and Ingham. On the central coast, again, just a few showers around the Mackay area, but really not much happening there, just a little bit out around the islands, and that's about the extent of it. Bit of interference showing up on the western side of the Mackay radar there, and out offshore about the southeast coast we can see showers, much more frequent, coming in as a result of that tropical low offshore and pushing those showers in from the southeast. But that system out there is weakening, so expect the showers along the southeast coast of Queensland to generally ease or start to clear later today. You can see it's a fairly wet morning on the Sunshine Coast at the moment, and there are a few showers just here and there about the Gold Coast as well. Rainfall totals have been pretty low though. You can see that Weipa has had 22 millimetres, Horn Island with just 19, and the falls drop off pretty quickly after that. They're all less than about 5 mils. Okay, on to the temperatures across Queensland. A fairly mild night across the state. We'd normally expect to see temperatures just a little bit cooler than this by this time of year, but we've got a lot of humidity across central Queensland, and that's holding those to overnight temperatures up, and it will be a warm sunny day for the inland centres, up to 35 degrees. These temperatures a few degrees above normal for this time of year. Relatively dry right along the coast as well. Just a few showers about the southeast coast as we saw on the radar, and the other major centres further north. a dry, sunny day with mostly light winds. We'll look at the coastal reports now. Southeasterlies in the tropics, they'll be up around 15 knots. Central Coast and Capricornia will see those winds increasing up to around 20 knots later today. And if we take a look at southeastern waters, well, winds are a little bit fresher there yesterday. They've eased a bit overnight, so pretty good conditions for boating now. Southeast to easterlies, 15 to 20 knots, and they will continue to ease, especially down around the Gold Coast. They should be around 15 knots later today. Tomorrow afternoon, storms about the northern tropics. Over the next couple of days, just a few storms persisting, in fact, about the tropical areas. Generally clear about the southeast coast until showers develop on Thursday, and they will extend further north on Friday with those southeasterly winds freshening as we head in towards the end of the week. Okay, take a look at the Northern Territory. This time yesterday we had really just an isolated storm or two about the north coast. Not a whole lot of action yesterday afternoon, just a couple of storms here and there. You can see it's actually been fairly quiet right across the top end, and that's as a result of a monsoon now drifting away to the north. We're coming out of the wet season, so not expecting a whole lot of action there from now on in. You can see the storms across the top end overnight were just fairly isolated, fairly light as well, and rainfall totals as a result weren't too much to talk of. I'll show you those shortly. First of all, we'll take a look at the southern radar. You can see that the area around Uluru just picking up a few showers here and there. Alice Springs area is fairly clear. We'll take a look at the rainfall figures there. Elcho Island's a top 4 with 24 millimetres, and onto the current temperatures, sitting on 25 degrees in Darwin at the moment, 22 down in the southwest at Uluru. It will be a pretty warm day for the southern areas, up to 36 to 37 degrees. Maybe just a few storms around here. They will be fairly isolated, a little bit more frequent around the top end, but certainly we're not expecting any really heavy falls across the top end today. Darwin Harbour, fairly light winds, just an afternoon sea breeze. It'll be around 15 knots. The next few days will pretty warm in the south tomorrow, a few storms then a cooler change on Thursday, warming up a bit on Friday, and just showers and storms becoming more isolated across the top end. We'll take a short break and come back with New South Wales.
Mate, this is light years ahead of your old cruiser.
You're not the first to try and sell me something different.
Suspension on this? Leave your old cruiser for dead.
Well, it'd take a bit to get me out of my old bus.
Coil springs in the front. Your cruiser hasn't got that.
No.
Wider track, longer wheelbase. A lot more stable than the old cruiser.
Yeah.
What about this cabin, eh? More room, better seats than your old cruiser.
You're not very loyal to me, old cruiser.
Mate, it's not like you'd be changing cruiser to some other make. It's just a flaming new model.
At last, the man on the land has a genuine alternative to a Land Cruiser. The new Land Cruiser 78. It's been re-engineered where it matters most.
Okay, taking a look at Victoria, and cloud increased across the southern border areas overnight. Just some light patchy rain falling around the Riverina and the southwest slopes. The cloud not really extending much further north than about the Illawarra, but it is just slowly edging north, and just some really light patchy rain falling out of along the New South Wales ranges as well. But most of it will really be around the Snowy Mountains and those southwest slopes. And look around the radars here, just a few showers along the north coast in those southeasterly winds, but they really do drop off pretty quickly as you head anywhere further south from about Ballina on the north coast there. On the southern areas, well, overnight we've just seen some of this patchy rain extend in from the west, getting in towards the Albury area, but it is actually just a bit further to the west from there at the moment. Just a little bit showing up around Wagga. We've had some patches just show up about the southern highland as well, but we suspect that most of that is evaporating before it reaches the ground. A fairly high-based cloud and just really light stuff falling out of that. Okay, we'll take a look at the rainfall figures. These are the highest since 9 o'clock yesterday. Ballina is the top 4 there with 4. So pretty light falls right across the state. And we look at the temperatures, it was a pretty warm night across the inland. Had a fairly warmish day yesterday. The cloud moved in, and the cloud tends to trap in the heat. So we can see these temperatures, 20 degrees at Deniliquin at the moment, 21 at Tibooburra. So a very warm night across these southern inland areas. Normally at this time of year, you'd expect to see temperatures getting well down into single figures. For instance, Cooma got down to below 0 over the weekend, but around 12 degrees warmer than that this morning. And the forecast for today will be a fairly warmish day across most areas, particularly in the north, 30 to 31. So these figures are above normal for this time of year. And the cloud cover and the patchy rain in the south will mean around about the mid-20s. There is the possibility of a thunderstorm here and there about the Central Highlands, just a slight chance. They're talking about just a chance of a storm for Wollongong as well, but at this stage we think that that chance is really decreasing all the time, and we probably expect you'll just see a very isolated shower or two. As you head further north from the Illawarra coast, mostly sunny day until you get to the far northern areas where we'll see just a few clearing showers here and there this morning. Okay, we'll move on to the coastal wind reports now. Fairly light winds right along the New South Wales coast. Far north coast will have 15 knots southeasterlies. That northeasterly freshening up to 20 knots about the mid-north. And the Illawarra and south coast expect a northeasterly sea breeze up to 15 to 20 knots. So heading out of the water today, not too many problems. Those seas up to around 2 metres. Now, over the next few days for New South Wales, well, some fairly changeable weather is on the way. Those fronts will be moving through fairly quickly, so a southerly change will be moving up the coast tomorrow, and that will mean rain and storms in the east. Thursday, we'll see the showers contracting to the north coast and some more storms developing in the west as another change approaches. And then on Friday, the showers clear in the north, and we'll see some more isolated storms in the far west. Okay, wraps up New South Wales. We'll take a look at South Australia now. We've seen a fair bit of cloud move across the region since yesterday. Started out with just some rain about the Nullarbor early yesterday. Moved fairly steadily across the southern central areas. Rainfall totals were fairly light, all less than 5 or around about 5 mils. I'll show you those shortly. First of all, take a look at the radar for the west. Pretty clear conditions out here at the moment. And about the Spencer Gulf, we're just seeing some light rain contracting further out to the east. If we'll take a look at the past 8 hours for the eastern areas, you can see these rain areas just moving in towards the Riverland area, just a little bit falling around Loxton and Berry at the moment, and heading down towards Bordertown, Keith, Coonawarra, just seeing some really light rain down there at the moment, and it's pretty clear about the far southeast corner. We'll take a look at those rainfall figures now. Tarcoola the top 4, 5 mils, and all the rest generally around that 3 to 4 millimetre range. So fairly widespread, and just fairly light figures there. Take the temperatures now. A fairly mild night right across the state. Again, the cloud cover tending to trap that heat in, except in the southeast where we did have clear skies. Sitting on 9 degrees at Mount Gambier at the moment. Getting up to around 19 down here. We'll see a few showers developing in the southeast corner later today as a southwesterly change affects that region. But as you head further north and to the west, that southwesterly change will have a less impact. So consequently, temperatures around 21 to 22, and that patchy rain about the central areas will continue to contract out to the east during the day. Winds across the state at the moment are all fairly much light and variable, generally out of the south. You can see Ceduna here sitting on 17 kilometres per hour. West coast and Gulf waters will see a freshening southeasterly breeze up to 20 knots during the afternoon. South central and the southeast, a pretty similar story. Southeasterly wind freshening later in the day, especially the southeast corner. It may even get just a little bit stronger than that 20 knots. Seas generally up around 2 metres. Okay, the next few days, cool and cloudy with showers about the southeast tomorrow, and it'll be mostly sunny elsewhere. Sunny on Thursday, just a little bit of coastal cloud. Then on Friday, another change coming through from the southwest will mean more coastal showers and fairly cool temperatures. Okay, moving on to Western Australia, and this is what the situation's like at the moment. Rain clearing out of the far eastern areas and mostly sunny across the greater southwest, a few tropical storms. Okay, take a look at the national update. Now, quickly looking at national conditions, and on the satellite photo, just some fairly widespread cloud through Victoria and southern New South Wales, producing some light patchy rain. It'll be clearing out. A front in the southwest here will move through Victoria and Tasmania tonight and give increasing wind and showers. Clear skies across Queensland at the moment, just a few showers along the southeast coast as a result of this low out in the Coral Sea, but that's tending to ease, and fairly quiet across the tropical north as well. We'll take a short break and come back with Victoria.
Farmers around Australia know that strong seasonal harvests depend on the weather. Instant and accurate weather information is vital whether you're involved in wheat, beef or cotton. Weather 21's Farm Weather Poll Facts provides everything you need to know about your commodity, your district. Dial 1800 061 404 on your fax for a free directory of local numbers. Farm Weather, brought to you from the Bureau of Meteorology in association with Weather 21.
Skies Victoria right across the state this morning, especially in the north where we've got just some light rain falling. The cloud's a little bit thinner in the south, but you're not seeing much sunshine through this at the moment. It is contracting fairly steadily to the east. You will see some sunny breaks later in the day. First, we'll take a look at the radar for the past 8 hours and see that Not terribly organised here at the moment, just some patchy falls here and there. Mostly about the ranges. It's light northerly winds just giving a little bit of uplift here, and that's where most of the rain is falling at the moment. Just some patchy stuff out towards the far western border as well. Certainly not expecting very much rain out of this at all during the day today. Consequently, rainfall figures light as you'd expect. Top 4 there, Mount Buller with just 3 millimetres, and the temperatures across the state at the moment fairly mild in the north under those cloudy skies, trapping the heat in around 20 degrees in these northwestern areas, and the coolest spots down in the southwest corner sitting on 9 degrees at Houghton and Warrnambool, and they will be the coolest parts of the state today. Look to the forecast. Patchy rain right across the north. It will be tending to contract further to the east during the day, but it will keep your temperatures down to 25 to 26 degrees. In the south, winds will be just a light southerly, and they will be increasing from the southwest later in the day, and we just may see a few showers pick up on this far southwest coast a little later on, probably a little bit towards the evening, but these far southern areas will be the coolest with the onshore winds. Warrnambool going for top of only 18 degrees, and way out in the east where we'll see more sunshine, those northerly winds lingering a little bit longer, up to 25 degrees at Orbost. Okay, we'll take a look at our wind reports at the moment. Fairly much light and variable breezes, especially in the south. You can see a few calms here and there, everything less than about 10 k's, and it's fairly light in the north as well. And winds will be gradually picking up during the day. You can see western and central Bass Strait. Those southwesterly winds freshening 15 to 20 knots later on. That'll push seas up to 2 metres. Fairly light winds this morning if you're thinking of heading out early. Eastern Bass Strait, west to southwesterlies, they'll be 20 knots, but getting as strong as 25 knots later in the day, and especially overnight tonight with that front going through that area, we may even see a strong wind warning posted. Certainly nothing issued yet, but we'll keep you posted should that eventuate. It will be borderline. Okay, onto the 3-day forecast. Tomorrow, showers on the west coast with those gusty westerlies. Storms contracting to the east. On Thursday, cloudy in the south. It will remain fairly cool. The winds will stay onshore. We'll see some sunny breaks in the north. Then on Friday, another cool one for the south. Another front going through. We'll see an increase in your showers, and it will remain mostly sunny in the north, and fairly cool mornings coming up a little bit later in the week if you're in northern Victoria as well. Okay, we'll move on to Tasmania, and we've seen this cloud move through across the state yesterday. Just produced some really light falls around. It's just a weakening trough system that went through. We've got this ridge of high pressure across this area at the moment, and that will just weaken away, and another front will be approaching, so expect the winds to be picking up during the day today as well. Fairly clear on the radars at the moment, and with that cloud that went through during yesterday, rainfall totals were fairly light. Highest fall there, 2.8 at Cape Bruni. Okay, on to the temperatures at the moment. A fairly mild night right across the state, especially in the northeast there, sitting on 16 degrees at Eddiston. And the forecast for today, well, scattered showers in most areas, and then with that northwesterly wind freshening, they will tend to contract back to the west coast. Only 17 degrees at Strahan. Fairly cool about the west and the southern areas, and somewhat milder in the northeast, where you will see increasing sunny periods during the afternoon. Winds at the moment, all fairly light, nothing too out of the ordinary there. And the forecast for Hobart waters expecting a freshening southwesterly, 10 to 15 this morning, as strong as 25 knots later today. And the 3-day forecast, school with scattered showers. Thursday, again, a cool day with scattered showers and fresh westerly winds. And then on Friday, another change coming through, rain and showers extending throughout the state, and another cool southerly change. Okay, move on to our international temperatures. 24 degrees in Mexico cities. Cairo sitting on 18 and Singapore sitting on 26. We'll come back with our national outlook.
Cyclone.
Are you properly prepared if there's a bushfire in your district?
Bushfire? We've got to get out of here, Willie.
No, Wally. In most cases, the best thing to do is stay inside your house,
Aye?
provided you take proper precautions.
What precautions, Willie?
Ask your local fire authority, Wally.
Oh.
They'll give you the information you need.
Great, I'll go and get some.
Not now, Wally.
The time to prepare for bushfires is now. Your local fire authority will tell you how.
An indicator to predict long-term rainfall trends is the Southern Oscillation Index, SOI. Negative SOI often means below average rainfall across eastern Australia. In contrast, positive SOI tends to produce above average rain.
Weather 21, a member of the Austar Network.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Mark Hardy and you're watching Weather 21. Weather headlines today, we've got some showers along the Queensland coast, a change moving through Victoria and Tasmania later today, but essentially a fairly quiet day weather-wise with no warnings or watches in place. Details on all that later. First of all, take a look at the latest satellite sequence. Over the past 24 hours, we've been tracking this band of cloud from the southern part of South Australia. Moved pretty steadily through that state during yesterday, just gave some light falls of rain. Now that cloud is pretty much covered most of Victoria and southern New South Wales, and again, falls from that cloud are fairly light. It all links up to this tropical moisture which is coming down through Western Australia and out of the Timor Sea to the northwest, and this whole system here is linking up with the jet stream, and I'll show you that shortly. We've also got a series of fronts moving through the south, and the first of these fronts is expected to get to the Victorian and Tasmanian coast by tonight, giving a fairly windy and showery night to the more exposed coasts of both those states. As we head further north, we've got this tropical low offshore in the Coral Sea. It's been there a couple of days, been producing showers along the Queensland coast. It's weakening and tending to move away to the east, so expect to see the showers for southeast Queensland ease over the next couple of days. But in the upper atmosphere across Queensland, we've got a really strong area of high pressure, or an upper level ridge as we like to call it, and that's keeping the air across Queensland quite stable. In fact, very little rain has been there over the past couple of days, despite the fact that we've got very high humidity across Queensland. That will make for a fairly uncomfortable day. Across the territory, things are fairly quiet as well. We do have that thunderstorm activity through Western Australia. Onto the jet stream, and it's a pretty interesting situation. We've got this quite strong southwesterly jet through the Bight. That's making these fronts come through quite quickly, and they're tending to intensify as they approach the southeast of the country, and consequently we expect to see a rapid movement of fronts through this region over the next few days. That upper level ridge across the eastern part of the country is showing up quite well as well, but that is likely to weaken over the next day or so and allow these fronts to get fairly clear passage through the southeastern states. We'll move on to the map for tonight. You can see that first change getting into Victoria. Rain in most